Okay, let's unpack this. When you think about these big global trade fairs, especially in something specialized like medical manufacturing, the common idea is, well, manufacturers just show up, pitch their stuff, and kind of hope a distributor bites.
Yeah, that's the usual picture, the transactional approach, right? And honestly, that's often why companies stumble when they try to go international. So today, we're doing a deep dive using this strategic document from IBC Group. They're experts in medical device market entry in Latin America, LATAM. We want to show you the kind of intense, really data-driven prep that goes into making these meetings successful. Because a trade fair, it's not just casual networking, it's strategic ground. And success or failure, that's often decided weeks before anyone even gets on a plane.
Okay, so let's set a baseline. What does standard professional prep look like for a manufacturer? I mean, a serious company. They do their homework, right? They define objectives, make sure their product line makes sense, get pricing and certs updated, practice their pitch. And if they're looking at LATAM, they're looking into import trends, distributor types needed, studying the big regulations like Anvisa in Brazil. That's a whole beast in itself.
Right. And look, that preparation, it's absolutely necessary. You have to do it. But it's still kind of reactive, fundamentally. At IBC Group, our whole approach, our mandate, it's different. We just don't improvise, ever. Weeks before a fair, we kick off this internal deep dive on every single manufacturer we plan to talk to. We often aim to know more about their international potential than maybe even their own sales team does at that point.
Hold on, though. That sounds incredibly intensive. All that research before you even meet. For, say, a smaller or medium-sized company, isn't that, well, prohibitively expensive? All that upfront work just for a meeting.
Well, you have to ask, what's the alternative? Usually it's failure, which is far more costly. We go in knowing exactly what products they have, which markets they tried before, and crucially, why it didn't work out. We know their competitors, their certifications. The real cost isn't doing the research, it's locking into a bad year-long distribution deal because you didn't have that diagnostic data up front. We actually do a specific market analysis with hard data for each company before the meeting. So if their products seem right for, say, Chile or Peru, we've already looked at the local demand, the entry barriers, all of it. We don't walk up and ask, so what do you guys do? We walk up and say, look, we know who you are, we know what you do, and here's the data showing your most realistic shot in this market.
Okay, so that's the key difference then. A
Yeah.
typical meeting starts from scratch, kind of, but your approach starts from this position of like data-backed confidence.
Yeah.
You're already figuring out the best way into the conversations at regulation, sales, marketing before you even shake hands.
Exactly. Every minute has to count. We figure out the strategic entry point. If we know regulation is their Achilles heel, boom, that's where we start, first 15 minutes. Or if their marketing materials are just completely wrong for the local culture, we pivot to that. It's about efficiency.
Now, the part of this document that really jumped out at me, this idea of mutual eligibility filtering. It's not just them trying to impress you. IBC Group is deciding if the manufacturer is even eligible, if they're the right fit for you.
Oh, absolutely. That mutual filtering, it's non-negotiable for us now. We learned the hard way about what we call the ghost contact problem. The manufacturer is super enthusiastic at the fair, everyone's excited. But then back in their home office, nobody gets assigned. There's no dedicated, qualified person driving the project internally. And the whole thing just fizzles out in months. Lack of ownership. So yeah, we filter. We select partners who are genuinely ready, who understand the commitment needed to scale in LTAM, and it has to be a two-way street. Preparedness on both sides.
So when that final meeting actually happens, it's totally transformed. The manufacturer came ready to sell their product. But you guys come prepared to lay out their specific market analysis and a clear, customized plan.
The whole conversation shifts. It's not what do I do anymore. It becomes this strategic alignment. Okay, this is the growth you're aiming for. Here's what you're currently missing to get there. And here's the actual framework we can build together to bridge that gap. Hello. They prepare to sell a product. We prepare them to actually grow in the market.
So what's the big takeaway here? What does this all really mean? It sounds like success, especially in these high-stakes international plays, it's almost entirely down to that pre-game homework, that commitment to strategic diagnostic growth, not just transactional handshakes.
Precisely. It's all about the preparation and the strategic intent. And maybe here's a thought for you, the listener, to sort of mull over. If this level of really rigorous, data-driven assessment, this upfront eligibility check, makes sense before committing to something as big as global market entry, what other significant relationships or maybe major projects in your professional life might deserve that same level of upfront strategic thought, that same kind of eligibility filtering before you invest your most valuable asset, your time? Just something to think about.